Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm for Classic and welcome to AI Limits. So this game, it is not out yet, this is the demo version, but it should be pretty equal at the final version. The final version gets debuted next month, although we have a demo available to try to understand how it runs on the GTX 1650 Super. So first of all, I'm starting the game with the absolutely maximum settings, except for textures at 1080p. The video recording is causing a massive impact in here, and I believe it's possibly because we are having our VRAM entirely full. So we are having 4 gigabytes of VRAM reserved for the game, even with the textures on the both settings. The AI limit, it is another Souls game, which you control another anime character. So it seems like this is kind of a new stuff that it is happening lately. It's AI characters in regular worlds, which looks like a near automata world, despite it isn't in fact. But it is essentially a Souls game. It drinks a lot from the Souls formula. I mean, um, stuff like the enemies being, you know, hidden behind boxes, doors, and stuff like that. So we have kind of the saves that can be something safe or actually not, where you, instead of getting an item you can get ambushed. But you have new stuff, like for example in this game you don't have any stamina bar, and instead you have a bar which every time you kill a new enemy, it raises that bar, and you can use that bar to use different types of weapons like this one, or stuff like that, or special combos. Yeah, it's actually how it works, alright? Despite I didn't use in the video, there is way also to block the attack, but also costs a little bit of that bar. So that bar is a little bit like a... holy shit. It's a little bit like a standing bar, but only applies for blocking and special attacks, and dodging is actually free in this game. Alright, so regarding performance, since we have the VRAM full, I'm pretty sure that we are having issues with the performance. I mean, for the most part, the game plays really well. During the entire demo, I didn't encounter any issue, aside from a stutter or two. But above all, performance was acceptable. I mean, with the high settings, the performance without recording was mostly above 60 frames per second, which is not with the recorder though. But without recording, it was mostly above 60, although there are moments where the game does drop below 60, depending on the areas or where you are looking for. Dropping the game to the lowest settings possible, I honestly don't notice too much of a difference regarding the graphics in dropping those settings. Possibly because this is a very closed sewers environment. I'm pretty sure the game will have open environments where the differences in graphics will be more pronounced. But I mean, the way that this scenario that it is available on the demo, I can't really tell too much of a difference between settings. I even tried to compare shadow quality in between the character when looking to a spotlight shadow, and honestly I couldn't really tell the difference. Either the settings are not really working, all of them, or either the difference is so small that barely makes an impact in the settings. Oh, we damn again. Basically, yeah, there is a difference in performance in between low and high, but it's something really small, like a 10 frame per second difference. So I would love the game to be more scalable. Also, there is at no FSR support or Intel CXS. I've noticed on the game files that the game seems to have support for the OSS, but since we have a GTX 1650 Super, we can't really enable any kind of upscaling. This game, it is using Unity engine, so there is no TSR either. So I'm just running the game natively. What I would love to see in the final version of the game is some sort of upscaling solution aside from the OSS, something like FSR3 or FSR2 or Intel XeSS, so we could get an additional performance to those moments where we do drop below 60 frames per second. Possibly with upscaling we could have a perfect 60, although, and again, this is very close to their environments in here. I'm not entirely sure how it runs in open areas or more open areas. I don't think that this is an open world. So I'm assuming there will be more open areas and outside sewers where the game will be more demanding and possibly will require more VRAM. And that's the thing that I'm afraid, because the final version of the game might have bigger environments that require more VRAM, and the requirements of the game clearly specify that you need a 1060 with 6 gigabytes of VRAM. So the minimum for the game is 6 gigabytes of VRAM. And I'm playing the game just fine in here with 4 gigabytes of VRAM, despite they are entirely full, of course. But the thing is, I'm not so sure if there won't be a map or an area where you really need to have those 6 gigabytes of VRAM in order for the game to perform decently. So as you can see, this is with the low settings. I don't really think that the graphics look that different. I still have shadows and most of the stuff. And yes, despite there is a performance difference, I don't think that it is that much noticeable. So I think that either playing at low or I think playing at high, at least on these sewer environments, I don't see too much of a difference, like I said. So with this, that's all that I want to talk about AI limits. I will request a key for this game to the developers, hoping to have the final version so I could try it out again and also maybe perform a live stream to understand better about the gameplay and the different scenarios of this game. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you much for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.